G'day guys, Mike here. Welcome back to Fourth Generation Renovation. Hope you're all doing well today. Before I'm going to get in and do some work on the main bedroom. We've got some exciting stuff happening this weekend. We're going to sand and polish the floors. So can't wait for that. So I've got a few jobs I have to get done before that happens. But I thought I might just have a quick chat to you before I get into the work. So firstly, there's a bit of noise going on in the other room. It's just my border collie, Lily. She's playing around with something and she's got this rubber chicken with a squeaker in it. And she's got a bottle. So come here. So she's just having a little play. So hopefully she doesn't make too much racket and we can get this done. So first up, I had a message from Toni and she was asking about the floor in my current bedroom, which is the middle bedroom. And I told her in the message, hi Toni, I mentioned that it was linoleum. So this is what it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a vinyl kind of an old floor covering, like a lino or something. It tears quite easy. You can see in the catch up on the main bedroom that when I ripped it up, it just tore like paper, or easier than paper. So there you go. That's for you, Toni. Just so you know what's in that bedroom. And I want to tell you a few stories about the house. So people with these old houses, they often ask, is it haunted? Are there spirits and that kind of thing? Well, there are definitely spirits in this house. The spirits, though, are, as far as we know, family members. So my great-grandparents, as I mentioned in the first tour video, they were the first people to live in this house. So, you know, it's, my great-grandfather, he passed away in this house. And then my grandma's sister, she also did. So the spirits in this house are family members. Now, I've had people come into this house that I've brought friends through to have a look. And the main bedroom, that is where I've been doing most of the work, is the room that people get creeped out the most. They walk past the door and they go, oh God, I got a chill. And oh, you know, I can't breathe when I go inside that room and stuff like that. Now, I lived in that room when I broke up with my first wife. I lived in that room. I came and lived with my grandma for a few months, and that was my bedroom. And I had my great-grandparents' photo up there hanging on the wall, and I was quite comfortable in that room. I've felt nothing but comfort in this house. There's nothing spooky. There's funny things that happen. You know, my wife, she's got a few stories for you, but you know, she's woken up in the middle of the night and gone, can you smell that? Someone's baking cookies. A strong cookie smell. Yeah, it's stories like that. You know, we were in separate rooms and we heard a big bang, and I went down to see my wife. She met me and she said, well, what was that? Was that you? We both said the same thing, and no, there was nothing near either of us, and we were at opposite ends of the house. So, you know, little things like that. Nothing scary at all. I mean, I get a chill sometimes. So Lily, you know, our dog, she'll go into a room, look at the wall, look up, and she'll bark like crazy, like her bark when someone's at the door. And that freaks me out a little bit. You know, I get a bit of a chill. But don't bite me. But you know, that's they say that dogs have a sense for those sorts of things. Well, I think that's what it is, because she'll do it. She'll go into the into a certain room and something will get her hackles up and she won't be happy. So there's that. Apart from that though, I would say, I mean, there's a story, my cousin Melissa, hello Melissa, she told me once, sitting in the middle room, which is our dining room, which is our storage room at the moment, she was sitting in there with my grandma, and a white figure floated out of the middle bedroom, that's our bedroom at the moment, and it came around and into the middle sitting room. And she got a bit freaked out and said, "Oh, Grandma, did you see that?" And my grandma goes, "Oh, that happens all the time." So, you know, there's nothing bad. There's no evil spirits or anything like that. It's all just family. So I personally think that that's one of the things that makes this house so comforting. That, you know, we've got the family in here that, you know, are watching out or watching over us. You know, my wife Julie she'll in the mornings go and say hello to William, you know, and if something happens or we hear something strange, it'll be like, "What's happening, William?" You know, just things like that, just a bit of a laugh. But, you know, it's not scary stuff. So just thought I'd let you in on that one. So another story I want to tell you is I've mentioned that my grandma loved the garden. The garden was her life. She had other things she also enjoyed doing. She used to make smocked dresses. Now, I don't know if you know what a lot of people know what that is, but I will get some photos and I'll put them up on here when I do another story another day. But so she makes smock dresses and she used to give them to anyone who had a baby. So she'd give them out. She made teddy bears that went in shoe boxes to go over for the you know, the people in the poor countries that you know, for the little kids there. She did that. She did a lot of things. And the garden, now everyone's going to go, "What is this all about?" This was my grandma's, all right? A peg with a piece of string. So what this is a tool for getting better flowers in the garden. So people that know about this, they'll go, "Oh yeah," you know. So this is for sexing the plants. So if you hold this over, you can see this is standing dead still. Watch what happens when I put my hand underneath. Slowly, it starts to rock. See that? It's rocking backwards and forwards. So for male, it rocks backwards and forwards. And if I can get Lily to sit still for long enough, I can show you on her. For female, it goes in circles. And it was my grandma's belief that the female plants had the best flowers. So she'd have this in her pocket and she'd go into a nursery and she'd hold this over all the plants that she wanted to buy. And if it was male, not interested at all. They don't have good enough flowers. They don't have many. They're not big. They're not beautiful. She knew all the tricks. All right. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, elderly people know, that young people dismiss. But I've never heard of anyone sexing plants. My grandma is the only one I've ever heard of doing this. And she's got an amazing garden out there, you know. I've been trying to look after it, but it's a big job. And she did it right up until the very end, at the age of 100. She was out there. Now, she did have a bit of help in the last year or so, but up until the late 90s, living here by herself, she was out there looking after that garden, and that was her job. And, you know, it was just something she loved doing. So, you know, good on her for having a hobby and something that made life you know, so happy for her. So that's a funny story. Now, just on this briefly, when I've got 4 kids. I've got 3 boys and a girl, and you can also sex pregnant women with this type of thing. You're not going to go and, you know, buy blue towels and pink towels or whatever for boy and girl, but it's going to be a pretty good idea of the sex. And my grandma used to go around to all the pregnant women in our family, and she used to be the one that if she does it, then we're pretty comfortable that that's the sex the kids will be. And it was right. Probably, well, I think Grandma was 100% correct every time. You know, so that's a funny little thing and something you might want to try yourself. So that's that. All right, so I'm just going to see if we can get this peg thing to work on Lily. All right, sit down. All right, so let's get the peg. Now wait there. All right, come here. Don't worry about the peg. Now, see if we can get this going. You probably can't see it from there. Come over here. Come on, come here. Lily. Good girl. All right, see what happens. Yeah, I thought so. Nah, can't do it, but trust me, it works. So I'll get in and get those jobs done. And yeah, hopefully you don't mind watching a bit of time lapse while I run around and do those jobs. Ciao. All right, guys, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on how to do this. It's pretty easy, but if you've never done it, it's probably not the easiest thing. But so I like to give the first coat a little bit of a scrape. So you want to scrape off all the jaggedy little bits so that they don't wreck the finish in your top coat. So go along and try and get those bits off. So you want to have a float, that's a cement float like this. This one's plastic. I like the plastic one because it bends a little bit and it doesn't give you such grooves in when you run it over to smooth off at the end. It kind of bends and lets it sort of do its own thing. Rather than get grooves in it that you have to try and sand out. So basically put a blob on there, and now this is how I do it. I'm not a professional. Now I learned how to do this, my boss, when I was a first year apprentice. I flushed and sanded his whole 2-story house. He trusted me to do this, his whole house, and I was a first year apprentice. So it can't be too hard. He sort of showed me. I don't think he was the best at it himself, but having to do that whole house, I figured out how to do it so it looks good. So it took me a while, but obviously the more I did it, the better I got. So I like to put it on here and make sure it's all smooth. If you see any lumps, just kind of mix them in a little bit. And then what I normally do is I'll lay it on with this and then I'll smooth it off with the float. But, you know, the professionals will whack it on with their float and smooth it off, boom, 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 done. I can't work at that sort of speed, but I can get a good finish the way I do it. So, you know, to me, that's all that really matters. So now this isn't going to be the final coat. This is just a second coat, and then I'll go over with a third coat to just do the fine little bits, just fill in the little, like any little scrapes or, you know, things like that I get. So yeah, so all we're looking to do is try and get, now we've filled the holes, so what we want to do now is try and get a relatively flat surface, and then the third coat you come along and you fill any little lows, scrape off the highs so that you can then sand it smooth. So yeah, we're just trying to get it flat. So just have a good look at it and work out for yourself where you need to lay it, and lay it in there. So now that I've put that little bit in there, I'll just put a little bit more in. So if you hold your trowel like that, you'll pull off a lot of material. If you hold it like that, it will leave more on the wall. So you just angle it to get however much plaster you require for what you're working on at the time. So I want to get a fair bit on there. So you'll see me just change the angle of the trowel. Get a good wide spread on it. Now that's a groove from a little bit of shit, either a bit of paper or a bit of plaster that's come off. And that's what you get, a big line. So you want to put a little bit more over that. So what I do now, you got to make sure that edge is clean, and just go over it. And that gets it flat, you know. If you need to do it 3-4 times, just do whatever you need to do. It's not hard at all. So I'll just show you what the professionals might do. They might lay it on like this. You can see it is quicker. And then scrape it along like that. Move it along. But I don't really like doing it like that all the time. Just do whatever's required. So I'll just show you with a big amount on there. Take that off. So you can see that it does get you a good finish pretty quickly when you do it like that. I'll chop and change, just whatever I feel at the time. Then what you want to do, once you've got the main bit flat, you put this on and you twist it like that, and you run it along the edge, and that will round it off and get rid of a sharp, hard edge. You can see it just takes a little bit off. Easy as that. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some no more gaps in these gaps. But you know, when it's a plaster moulding, it's not going to be sharp edges, all these sharp edges and everything. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to put some no more gaps here and there to kind of take some of the sharpness out of it, just to help it look a bit more realistic. So I'll start at the top here. Bit of a spit on the finger. Run that down there. Down here. Same thing. Bit of spit. Takes care of it beautifully. Across here. Bit more spit. Alright, so go down this edge here. Look how that tidies that up. Now I'm going to go a little bit up under here. There's no gap, but just to round it off a bit. Beautiful. Look at that. Bit in here. Really tidies it up. A bit under here. Look at that. Now that makes a big difference. Lost my mic. Put this back on here. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to do the keystone. See if we can get a close up of that. Get right in there and have a good look at that. So you can see there's a gap there at the moment. See if I can zoom in. That's about it. See, hang on, let's go like this. See, there's a bit of a gap there. All right. Well, we're going to get rid of that gap, almost like magic. Bit of spit again. And like I said, it doesn't matter if the edge gets rounded off a bit and it's not as crisp. That's what we want. Make it look like plaster. Beautiful. Might go down here. A little bit on this edge. Whoops. Doesn't matter if you even lose the line. Doesn't matter at all. Because that's what would happen with plaster. And then over the years, when that gets painted over and over, it all gets filled up. So I'm going to run under here. Beautiful. Bit across the top of this. Bit more. Fill up some screw holes. You can come back and you can sand this stuff. That's the beauty of it. It does get a bit messy though, but what doesn't? Alright, that's looking real nice. Bit up this side. Along the bottom. Bit more. That's good. Okay guys, so that's the end of this video. So a bit of a vlog there for you, a bit of a story, and a little bit of work here in the main bedroom. So pretty happy with where I am now with this bedroom. I will give the plaster one more coat just to get that, you know, perfect. And then we'll come along, I'll sand all the gyprock, all the flushing down, and I'll paint the ceiling, and then we'll be bringing a floor sanding video to you on the weekend. So I hope you enjoy this video. It's, you know, not a lot of progress, but I thought you might like a bit of a story on my family, and there's a lot of stories I can tell you, so let me know if you want to hear more, if you enjoyed it, or if you can't be bothered with the talking and you just want to see action. Let us know. But thanks for joining me again. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to all the new subscribers. You know, it's been going a bit haywire the last few days, and I've increased my subscribers. I've actually doubled my subscribers in the last 2 weeks. So thanks very much for you new people, and leave me a comment if you want. You know, if there's something you want to know, I'll answer it, and I'll give you a shout out. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.